Hi everyone, my name is Emily Kwan, and today I'll be presenting my final project on the Tibet Mountains, which is a film that explores the ideological and human conflicts of Korea's post-liberation period. So here's a table of contents of what I'm going to be covering today. First is the film information, which includes the director, the release date, and the cast. Second is the historical background, which I'll be discussing what was happening in Korea during the setting of the film. Third, I'm going to be discussing a synopsis, which is a brief summary of the film. And fourth, I'll be talking about themes and reflection and why this film matters today. So for some general film information, the director of this film was Kwan, and the cast, An Sung-ki plays Yeom Sang-jin, and Kim Young-gon plays Hyun-woo, and Oh Jung-hae plays Soya, and Shin Hyun-jun plays a supporting role. The film was released on September 17th, 1994, and it is a historical drama film based on the novels The Tibet Mountains by Jo Jung-rae. And although this film only had 250 total admissions and a mostly poor commercial success, it was still nominated for the Golden Bear in 1995 at the 45th Berlin International Film Festival, and it also achieved the Blue Dragon Film Award Best Film in 1994. To understand the film, it's important to look at the historical context. In 1945, Korea was liberated from 35 years of Japanese colonial rule. But instead of peace, the country was quickly divided along ideological lines. The North came under Soviet influence and the South under American control, leading to deep political fragmentation. By 1948, tensions escalated under the Yoso-Sunshin Rebellion, where left-leaning military units refused orders to suppress a communist uprising on Jeju Island. The government's violent response led to mass killings and unrest throughout southern provinces. Then, in 1950, the Korean War broke out when North Korea invaded the South. The war devastated the peninsula, and families were torn apart along ideological lines. The Tibet Mountains is set during this tense and violent period, between the rebellion and the 1953 signing of the armistice, a time when everyday people were forced to pick sides, often with tragic consequences and the loss of connections with loved ones and other relationships. Next, I'm going to be going over a synopsis of the film. The story follows Yeom Sang-jin, who is a village school teacher who becomes a local leader in an underground leftist movement. As these ideological tensions rise, the government responds with violent repression, and Police Chief Hyun-woo leads a brutal crackdown on suspected communists. Caught in the middle of this are ordinary villagers who choose between loyalty, survival, and their loved ones. One of the most significant subplots involves Soya, a singer who becomes romantically involved with Sang-jin. She represents the everyday people trying to survive amidst the violence. This film really highlights atrocities from both sides, the leftist rebels and the government forces, and it really makes a powerful portrayal on how ideology can tear apart families, friendships, and communities. So why does this film still matter today? First, it speaks to modern political polarization. The divisions in the village really mirror today's growing ideological splits around the world that are both present in the US and just throughout the world itself. Second, it deals with historical trauma. Even decades later, the Korean War and its aftermath continue to shape collective memory and identity in Korea. Third, it explores moral complexity. It shows how no character is fully good or fully evil. Each is shaped by their circumstances and beliefs, making us question black and white notions of right and wrong, and which side is truly right. And finally, the film uncovers hidden history. For years, the Yosu-Sunshin Rebellion and other leftist movements were censored or erased from official narratives. By telling this story, the Tibet Mountains contributes to a more honest, inclusive understanding of Korean history. Thank you for listening to my presentation about the Tibet Mountains, which is a film not just about the past, it's also a reflection of the ongoing struggles of ideology, identity, and truth. Thank you for listening.